Woohoo, we are live. Today we are going to talk about the ultimate foolproof method to gain visibility and show up online as an introvert. And this is so easy, so effective that you're going to think, this is all it takes. Seriously, I thought it was more complicated than this. But it is also deep. So get ready. The ultimate thing that you need in order to build visibility online is to have a clarified voice. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It sounds so simplistic when we say that, right? That clarified voice, that's all it takes. How are people spending so much time and energy and money to show up online? Like, why do we need all of these resources and all these methods and all these formulas and strategies to show up online? Why are we spending so much time? If it's only about a clarified voice, anybody can do this, right? But this is where the hard part comes in, especially if you are an introvert. The first thing you have to understand is what a clarified voice means. This means that you are very sure about the things that you say and how you say them. I'm going to repeat that. You have to be very clear about the things that you say and how you say them. Okay? The ultimate enemy of anyone who is listening to you online is confusion. If they cannot perceive what you're saying, if they do not believe what you're saying, if they cannot connect with what you are saying, that means that you won't be able to gain the visibility that you want online. And especially, it's going to take a hit on your own self-esteem. It's going to take a hit on your validation. It's going to make you feel like you're not doing this right, especially if you struggle with these things as an introvert. I know this firsthand because I did this myself. Okay. So if you need a clarified voice, if you need your audience to understand, connect, and really sink in what you are saying, how do you go about doing this? The main thing you need to understand is yourself to begin with. If you do not know yourself, you do not know what you stand for, you don't know why you're here, you don't know why you're doing this, you don't know why you want to go online, then you're basically putting yourself in this box and you're kind of running around in circles because you won't be able to escape it. When you achieve clarity, when you achieve understanding, it kind of frees you up because it provides structure to your message. And the message is basically what the people online, what your audience knows you for. They know you for one specific message. But if you are inside your head constantly rethinking, overthinking, questioning yourself, not knowing what you're saying, not knowing how you're saying it, not knowing what frequency you're going to say it at, or not knowing how to articulate it, or not knowing how to communicate it, you won't be able to create the structure and communicate this to other people. The clarity needs to happen at the ground level. The clarity needs to happen inside. And this comes with the confidence as well. This comes with the self-belief. This comes with the self-worth. This comes with the self-esteem. So if you're an introvert who experiences self-doubt, if you're an introvert who experiences self-esteem issues, if you're an introvert who experiences negative self-talk and does not believe in themselves, how do you expect to show up online and speak very clearly what you believe in? This does not mean there's something wrong with you, by the way. I'm simply posing a question. How is it going to be possible for you to show up online and speak with conviction when there is so much confusion happening inside your mind? This is internal. Before you utter a single word outside, before you say a single thing, you have to ask yourself, will people understand what I'm saying? Am I clear myself on what I'm saying? Am I going to be able to relay this message very clearly to my audience? The reason this is so important to identify even before you say a single thing to your audience is because your audience is forming a perception every single time that you are showing up. Your audience is listening to you, digesting and internalizing everything that you are saying. So if you show up with confusion every single time, if you show up to begin with, that is, it's going to lead to a lot of different perceptions, and eventually they're going to give up. Eventually they're going to say, this is not really sinking in, this is not jiving with me, this is not clear to me, I don't know what they are saying. And this is not only the words that you are saying, right? This is the substance, this is the actual core, this is the actual message of who you are, what you stand for, and why you're showing up online to begin with. So if your goal is to gain online visibility, Your goal is to show up. Your goal is to get an audience. Your goal is to get recognized. Your goal is to get known. Your goal is to get sought after, to get speaking engagements, to make money with your personal brand, monetize this personal brand. The ground level question is, are you clear on your message? Is that clear in your mind? And is that clear in the belief system? If you do not believe in what you're saying, or if you're simply riding the coattails of the trends that are going on, that you feel are going to do well but are not in line with your values or who you are as a human being, again, there is a foundational level mismatch in who you are, what you stand for, and what you want to show to the world. The outside perspective that you show to the world, the words that you say, how you present yourself, the posts that you're going to post online, the words that you're going to type out, these are a reflection of the internal thoughts that you are having. But these internal thoughts need to be clear. They need to be clear, and they need to be understanding of the person who is going to consume them. Let me say that again. The things that you are writing, the things that you are saying, the things that you are showing to other people for consumption needs to be clear for the person who is consuming them, and needs to be reflective of your thoughts that you believe in very thoroughly. If there is a mismatch between these two, you're going to end up failing having the impact that you want to have, because it will not connect. There will not be a connection, and there will be a mismatch in the result that you want and the efforts that you're putting in. This is why most people give up so easily, because they have not spent the foundational level time or the core internal time clarifying the message, clarifying who they are, how they're going to say it, who they're going to say it to, how this is affecting them, how this is reflective of them, and what it's going to lead to, that they're not seeing a tangible, very feasible, very easy connection, right? In all honesty, the experience of visibility and the experience of building a personal brand needs to feel easy. I know on a zoomed out level, it's like, Siam, but it's so much work. How can it be easy? But frankly, it should feel easy. Even if there's a lot of tangible work to do, if there's a lot of things to do in the back end, leading to showing up, it should feel easy, because you are very aligned. You are aligned with your purpose. You are aligned with the audience. You are aligned with the objective. You are aligned with your innermost thoughts. You're aligned with your core values. You're aligned with the vision for the world. And as an introvert, this is the biggest favor that you can do for yourself, is to clarify all of this before you utter a single word to the outside audience. Because if you do not have credibility with yourself, if you do not have belief with yourself, if you believe that you are not good enough, if you are struggling with self-worth, if you believe that you don't deserve to be in front of the audience, if you think that you are a burden, you have done yourself such a massive disservice before you've even set out for this endeavor. You have not even started showing up online yet. Yet this self-defeatist attitude or this belief system has kept you down here. Why? Because there's no clarity. The clarity is overridden by the belief that you have. So unless you believe in yourself enough to create that message and actually dive deep into all of the mess and understand, who am I really? What do I really bring to the table? And how am I going to let other people see this value in me so that it is going to be enriching for them? Because here's the thing. What a lot of people don't realize is that in this whole process of building a personal brand, showing up online, getting recognition, building followers, all of this experience, the biggest experience is the consumer experience. Your personal brand, your online presence, you showing up every single time needs to be joyful and needs to be fun and needs to be engaging for the person who's listening to you. This does not mean you have to dance. Unless you want to, obviously. This does not mean that you have to do things that you're not comfortable doing. But if the audience that's going to be listening to you does not enjoy listening to you, or does not enjoy the message, or cannot connect with the message, or has nothing to do with the message, then you are just speaking out into the stratosphere and nothing to show for it. You're not connecting with anybody. You're just expressing. And expressing is okay, but express it with a purpose. Express it so someone can hear you. Express it so you can enrich someone's life. Express it so someone can actually take something away from it, gain value from it, come back to you to listen to you. You know, that is the goal of having a very formidable, impactful, and memorable personal brand. That is what people want from you. They do not want bells and whistles. They do not want fluffy, production value filled videos or posts that they can take nothing away from. Anything that is self-inflating content or people that only talk about themselves, they are not going to be memorable enough to their audience because they have nothing to do with it. That's why I see a lot of influencers who post nothing but content about themselves, and I always wonder why. Why are you only talking about yourself? There's a difference between telling a story and actually trying to connect with an audience. If you are talking about yourself constantly day in and day out and make your personal brand only about you and your ego and what you have to gain, you will not be able to have the impact that you're seeking. You will not be able to have that kind of connection or the kind of loyal fan base or the type of community or the type of impact that you want to have on the people who are actually listening. Because contrary to popular belief, your personal brand does not exist without other people watching. It is the people, it is the audience, it is the community that actually make your personal brand. But if no one's watching, do you even have a brand? You really don't, because you need an audience, you need a perception to happen. But this perception can only happen if you are presenting your ideas in a certain format, whether it is by text or by podcast or by video, whatever format you're comfortable with, but with a clear message. But this clear message is the last step. The actual expression is the last step after you do the hard work of understanding what that message is, after you do the hard work of understanding how you are arriving at this message and how you stand for it and how this is reflective of you, of your life story, of your experiences, of your belief system, of your values, and who you are as a person. So as far as introverts go, the best thing that you can do for yourself is to understand what makes your message concrete and how that relates to the audience that you are speaking to. So mark my words, if you start showing up online, and that is a courageous act, by the way, I would be very proud of you if you start showing up online. But if you start showing up online without the clarity that you need, you will come back to the space where you will feel confused because you have lost that connection between the internal self, the message for the audience, and how you're going to actually express this message. And you're going to start wondering, what is the point? What is the point? I have seen many people since my journey started who built their brands only because they thought what was trending and they thought what would be more popular. But it was not in line with who they were as a person. It was not in line with their internal self-belief. It was not in line with their insecurities. And what happened? Maybe after a month, 2 months, 6 months even, they stopped, they vanished, they disappeared. Why? Because there was a massive disconnection between the person that they were trying to show themselves to be versus who they really were. So if you are trying to show up online, the biggest favor that you can do for yourself and the best thing that is going to propel your visibility is massive alignment and clarity between who you are as a person, your belief in yourself, how you feel about yourself, how you're going to communicate a message to a certain target audience, and how that message relates to them. There needs to be a connection between you and them. It cannot be just them, and it cannot be just you. This is not a completely selfless act, and it's not a completely selfish act either. This is something that is symbiotic. It needs to be a enmeshing of the audience's value that they need from you and what you can give them. You cannot give them what you don't have. With all due respect, if you have a certain story, if you have a certain background, if you have certain experiences, if you have a certain belief system, if you have something, you can only give that to the audience. You cannot give more. The more you learn, the more you experience, the more you internalize, the more you can give them. But you cannot give from an empty cup. You have to fill your cup first. And I see this quite a bit actually, where people who do not believe in themselves entirely, they start showing up online and they start providing value to people online. And then they start feeling as if they're entitled to that validation because look, I showed up online. I did the hard work. I'm showing up for you guys. How dare you not give me the validation I deserve? How dare you not give me the engagement that I deserve? How dare you not acknowledge me when I'm doing such hard work? But the reason that happens is because you have not acknowledged your internal systems yet. You have not acknowledged what's going on inside before you showed up. You cannot project your resentment from your past onto your audience who has nothing to do with it. That was a deep statement right there. And I'm probably going off on a tangent here, but I want you to understand how your internal beliefs really come out when you are talking to the audience. It's an authentic portrayal of who you are. And even if that is not happening on the most obvious level, you will feel discontent. You will feel as if you're not on the right track. You will feel very, very empty. You'll feel extremely exhausted and burnt out because you're going against the grain. You're completely going against the grain. It's not aligned. You are doing this as an obligation rather than as a willingness to provide value to your audience. And when you are showing up for the audience, you're showing up online, you're doing a service to your audience. You are not showing up because you want something from them. They are giving you their attention. They're giving you their engagement. They're giving you their attention span, and they're giving you their viewing time because they find value in you, not because they have to, not because you're doing them the favor of showing up. No. They owe you nothing. Please understand that. Your audience owes you nothing. They only owe you the engagement, the genuine, authentic engagement and understanding of your content that comes from deep within. And only if they feel like it resonates. But if you're showing up as an expectation that if I show up, I am going to get all of the engagement in the world. If I show up, I will finally feel validated. If I show up, it's going to be the propelling of my brand and I'm going to become famous overnight. Please manage your expectations, because the audience's job is to boost you because they believe in you. They will back you up. They will support you. They will be there for you. They will follow you. They will be loyal. They will give you everything if you provide the value that they need and you show up with authenticity. If you're showing up with resentment, if you're showing up with expectation, if you're showing up with a skewed understanding of what showing up online means, if you're showing up for your ego, do yourself a favor and go back. Go back, check that, and understand why it's coming from this place. The clarified message has to come from a place of giving, has to come from a place of loving, has to come from a place of you truly, truly wanting to be there for the audience. It needs to be an extension of yourself. And I've said this in a post of mine before, it's actually a love letter to your audience because you really, really want them to succeed. But they will not get to that place. They will not give you the love and adoration and the engagement and all of the attention that you want if you do not start with the authenticity, if you do not start with the clarified message that results in the connection that they need. It's not going to work if you are only looking at this from a very strategic, very calculated, very tunnel vision point of view that, you know what, today I'm going to post a piece of content because all I want is the views and I'm done. Where's the heart? Where are you in this entire scenario? You need to be present in your content. You need to be present in your online presence in order to have the result and connection that you want. And for introverts specifically, the rewarding feeling that you're going to get, the way you're going to feel when you've poured yourself out there online and you get the reception that you had been looking for, there is very little like it, because you're going to feel so accepted. You're going to feel as if you're so fulfilled, and you're going to feel as if you're making such a massive difference that it's going to feel as if This is what I'm here for. This is my purpose right here. And you'll be fulfilling your purpose. And it's such a beautiful thing. But if you're not starting from level 0, starting from the inside out, no matter how uncomfortable it is, it's going to feel extremely rigid. It's going to feel disjointed. It's going to feel as if you're doing everything wrong because, hey, I'm doing all the right steps. I'm posting content, but is it resonating to you? Is your belief system in it? Do you believe in your content, or is it simply as a way to get comments? That will rarely happen unless you give your all, your heart, your soul, your energy, your logic, everything that you have to your audience via your content. It's going to be very difficult for you to sustain it. It's not going to feel like you can do this day in and day out. And that is the beauty of a very aligned, confident, personal brand, especially for an introvert, is that it feels so easy, other than the actual tangible work that you have to do. Obviously, I'm not going to say that it's not going to feel like work, but it's going to feel like easy work. It's going to feel like extremely exciting work. It's going to feel as if you're showing up confidently. It's going to come from inside. It's not going to seem as if you're doing something that's away from who you are as a person. It's going to feel like you. So do yourself the biggest favor, no matter how uncomfortable it is, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how gut-wrenching and excruciating it seems, go to the dark place. Go to the place that seems difficult. Go to the place where it seems like, I don't know if I want to go here. It's very uncomfortable. I haven't touched this place in a long time. I need to dive very deep and understand why I want to do this. I need to understand what my purpose is. I need to understand who I really am as a person. If you don't bring that out, it's going to change the experience. I assure you, it's going to change your entire online experience once you actually surrender yourself into that dark place. You do that deep digging, you clarify the message, you clarify all of the feelings that you have, you finally start believing in yourself, you finally start seeing your potential, you finally start realizing this is what I'm meant to do. This is what I'm here for. This is me right here. Now I'm ready to show the world. That's right. Once you go to that deep place, you extract it and you put it on a platter and you're accepting of it and nothing can deter you. You're going to be golden after that. Everything else after that is going to feel so easy. Everything after that is going to feel so uplifting. Everything after that is going to be like, I am here. I deserve to take space. I deserve to be here. I deserve to speak my message. I deserve to show up without feeling shy. Even if you're shy, it won't feel so gut-wrenching anymore because it feels so aligned. You've done the hard work of going to the dark place. You've clarified the messiness, right? And then all it is the tactics. And what does tactics mean? Tactics is posting on a platform or responding to a message or initiating a message. All of this is logical tactics, which are very, very different and much easier, actually, than doing the clarifying work. Most of my clients that work with me, they come to me because they are confused about the ground level foundation. They are very unclear. And because of this, no matter how smart you are, no matter how many degrees you have, no matter how much outside worldly experience you have, no matter what kind of a professional you are, the emotional intelligence and the understanding of self is paramount. If you do not have that, you are going to do all of the hard work and come right back, no matter how long it takes. And you'll be like, I'm ready to surrender. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult, but I think I'm ready. Because this is the part that people ignore. This is the part that people run away from. This is the part that people don't want to do because it is hard. Because it's going to challenge a lot of what you think you want to do versus who you really are and what you want to show to the world. Because who doesn't want to show the most curated, perfect version of themselves to people? Who doesn't want to show the most ideal version of themselves to the world? Nobody, right? We all want to be perfect. We all want to show the most ideal self, right? But it takes courage and it takes understanding and it takes a lot of being kind to yourself to actually say, I'm going to do this hard work. I know it's going to be very, very deep. I know it's going to be dark, and I know it's going to be difficult, but I am ready to do this because I want a sustainable, happy, courageous, confident future. It's because I want to connect with my audience. It's because I want to be there for them. It's because I want to mean something to them, and I want it to come from the soul. And mark my words, your audience can tell. Your audience can tell when someone is faking it versus someone who leads with authenticity and leads from the inside. No matter how pretty your words are, no matter how pretty your feed is, no matter how much you hide behind content, people can really tell who is behind the content, what is the idea behind the content, how much of it is self-led, how much of it is ego-based, and how much of it is for them, and how much of it is for service. They can tell. Your audience is smart. Do not make the mistake of thinking that simply creating content and then forgetting about it means that your audience is going to start believing in you. No, no, no. It has to happen from your core values and understanding of self. So if you are an introvert who wants to show up confidently online and finally build that online presence that gets them known, gets them seen, gets them sought after, gets them believed in, gets them speaking engagements, and opens all these doors, including monetization and building a business and building an audience and all of that stuff, you have to lead from the inside. You have to lead from the inside. If you start from there, you are gold. You will be able to get all of the visibility that you are seeking, and you'll be able to get everything that you desire because it will feel so easy and so aligned. Okay, on that note, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you soon.